Former President Rodrigo Duterte will skip the first status conference on his crimes against humanity case before the International Criminal Court. Duterte's lead counsel Peter Haynes submitted a signed waiver authorizing his lawyers to address procedural matters during the hearing. The ICC trial chamber earlier allowed Duterte to skip the proceedings, saying the accused is not required to attend status conferences, which are administrative in nature. The hearing is expected to tackle the possible start date.
Now, Akbayan has thrown its support behind Senator Risa Hontiveros should she run for president in 2028. We are joined by Akbayan Representative Percy Sendanya. Good morning, Congressman. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Jago and Angela. Magandang umaga po sa lahat ating mga tagapanood.
Well, we have a lot to unpack, pero first and foremost po, Congressman, why is Akbayan backing Senator Risa Hontiveros this early for a possible 2028 presidential run?
Well, the current political situation in the country, actually the current political chaos in the country calls for a leader that does not back down. Grabe yung magiging trabaho ng presidente sa 2028. Maraming mga kinakailangang habulin ng mga pang-abuso sa kapangyarihan at saka yung mga ninakaw sa kaban ng bayan. At the same time, there are so many problems like the widening gap ng inequality and poverty that have to be addressed but headstrong by a leader who does not back down. At kung mayroong quality si Senator Risa, ito yung hindi talaga siya umaatras. Lagi niyang hinaharap ang problema at saka tinutugunan at sinusolusyonan ito.
Is this already a final decision, Congressman, or are you open to possible alliances or tactical alliances in the future in case na magkaroon ng common candidate ang kayo, tsaka, nakikita natin yung Liberal Party?
Where we are open to the ongoing process of the Democratic opposition to come up with just one candidate. Kasi sa dulo, ang gusto talaga natin, magkaisa ang Democratic opposition at harapin yung kandidato ng mga Duterte ng malakas at matibay bilang isang nagkakaisang hanay. In the end, Akbayan is participating in this process and we trust the judgment of the leaders who are in this conversation now. We just hope that the decision would be made earlier and as soon as time possible. Kasi alam naman natin, preparation for a presidential bid would require ample time. Para nang sa ganun, though we have the base now and the social movements who are backing Senator Risa Hontiveros, we need to consolidate the broadest opposition slate constituency possible so that we can put up a formidable run for 2028.
Oo nga, Kong, if you talk to strategists, usually at this point in time, mayroon ng form, may foundations na dapat ang mga campaign. Pero ang tanong dito kasi madami kaming nakakausap from both sides of the camp, are you open to a possible tactical alliance with the administration just in case kailangan just to counter, Vice President Sara Duterte?
We are always guided by the principles by which Akbayan has been known for and is still operating as a political party for a long time now. At yung mga prinsipyong ito will guide us in making that decision. Pero sa dulo, ang lagi natin iniisip, ano yung makakabuti para sa bansa.
Right. But what do you have to say to those critics na nagsasabi po na ang layo ni Risa Hontiveros kung kakalabanin si Vice President Sara Duterte and in terms of pagiging makamasa, masyadong mataas pa si Senator Risa Hontiveros. Parang masses don't really relate to her.
Well, I think it's just a matter of telling the story of Senator Risa Hontiveros. Kasi kung meron tayong mamabatas na may mahabang track record na talagang kinakalinga at niyayakap yung pangailangan ng mga kapatid natin na nasa laylayan, si Senator Risa Hontiveros yun. Mula nung siya ay nasa Kongreso hanggang siya nasa Senado, talagang inuuna niya yung pangailangan ng mga kapatid natin nasa laylayan o yung masa. Mula sa legislation niya for farmers, hanggang sa mga working mothers, hanggang sa mga manggagaba. Talaga, si Senator Risa ay isang leader para sa masa. Doon naman sa malayo sa survey, alam naman natin yung kwento rin ni VP Leni when she ran for Vice President. Nagsimula, medyo malayo, pero eventually, because of the concerted efforts of various forces, we were able to bring her to the vice presidency. And we hope that we will harness the same energy for Senator Risa. And at the same time, Akbayan is a nationwide political party of ordinary people who are ready to take on this challenge of putting finally a people-oriented president in Malacanang.
Okay, Kong, of course, ang katanungan ngayon, since tumawid yung impeachment over to the Senate, ang dami na nangyari sa Senado, no? And right now, yesterday, nagkaroon ng walkout because of the discussions to try to amend the rules of the impeachment, kung aalaw na yung mga senador bumoto kahit wala doon physically. Ano take mo dito, Congressman?
Well, we understand the sentiments of the people, yung kanilang observation na mula nung naupo ang bagong liderato ng Senado under Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano, talagang mayhem at chaos yung nakita natin sa isang once revered institution. Sabi nga ng mga tao, akala nila wala nang ibababa pa ang kredibilidad ng Senado, pero kahapon nakita natin sumadsad pa when they tried to bend the rules to serve their selfish interests, which is to remain in power in the Senate by allowing this remote voting, no? Ang tawagan namin parang boto para sa pugante. So dapat hindi pinapayagan ito. Ang tumatakas sa batas, hindi dapat binibigyan ng sweldo at hindi dapat binibigyan ng karapatang bumoto. And also we hope that the Senate will reflect on the current situation of its integrity and credibility. Talaga mababa ang tingin ng Senado sa ngayon. Mababa ang tingin ng taong bayan sa Senado ngayon. And we hope that reflection will reach a conclusion bago magsimula yung impeachment trial.
So, Congressman, do you believe na lahat ng ginagawa ng current majority ay to cater to the whim of the Vice President to ensure na hindi siya ma-impeach? Kasi yan ang take ng iba.
Well, we share that sentiment na itong ginagawa ng current Senate majority is to protect the Vice President and of course to help her evade accountability and justice. And at the same time, nakita din natin na ginagawa din nila yan para kanlungan yung mga Duterte forces na riyan na hinahabol ngayon ng batas.
Well, of course, we want to know also if you would indulge us na ano ba yung tamang proseso doon sa ginagawa na ganyan sa Senado. Kasi yun ang kanilang pinagdebatihan di ba? Parang sinasabi ni Senator Risa Ontiveros, sige, pag-usapan natin yan kung possible or not. Pero dumaan tayo sa proseso.
Precisely, a major amendment to the rules of the Senate will have to go through to a process. Hindi pwedeng minamadali. Kaya nga mas suspicious yung taong bayan sa nangyari kahapon kasi bakit minamadali? Sino ang pinoprotektahan? Ano ang hinahabol nila? Bakit para may deadline? And we understand that a lot of things are about to happen and are rumored to be happening right now that could affect yung hold nila sa leadership. Kaya gusto nilang madaliin yung pagbago doon sa rules. Pero sa dulo, dapat lagi nating tandaan, itong ganitong kasagradong proseso has to go through a process. Di ba lagi natin ini-invoke ang rule of law at lagi natin ini-invoke na dapat ang isang institusyon tulad ng Senado talaga should walk the talk. Follow the rule of law at dapat ipakita sa taong bayan yung demokratikong proseso na hindi lang simpleng tyranny of the majority.
Representative, I was wondering nga po, you can also tell our viewers ano ba yung significance, diba? Ano ba yung importansya ng pagboto physically? And if I can remember it correctly, the only time na nagkaroon po ng remote voting sa Senado and even in the Congress was during the COVID-19 pandemic. And even sila Senator Trillanes and Senator Laila De Lima, nung sila po ay mga nakulong, ay hindi rin po sila pinayagan na bumoto.
Yes, talagang may ganong provision dun sa rules ng Senate, na House rules ng Senate na dapat ay extreme situations, national emergency, o kaya naman tulad ng panahon ng pandemya. Wala naman tayong national emergency ngayon. Wala namang pandemya. Kung may national emergency, it's a national emergency created by the chaos that is the Senate leadership. So wag nila gamiting dahilan itong kaguluhang ito para baguhin yung rules para na siguraduhin na sila ay mananatili sa pwesto. So, the Senate really has to reflect. Kasi kapag pinagpatuloy nila ito, talaga magsasuffer na talaga ang credibility ng institution. Imagine, in just 2 weeks, sumadsad na ng husto ang kanilang kredibilidad.
So with that, Kong, do you think kailangan palitan yung Senate leadership?
Well, I cannot really impose on the members of
Personal.
the Senate. Yes, but I hope that they listen to the people. The people are saying that they are fed up with the chaos that is the current Senate leadership. Wala tayong nakita kundi puro barilan, drama, bangayan, at hindi nagagawa ang trabaho ng Senado. At hindi po pwedeng papasok ang Senado sa isang proseso ng impeachment na kung siya mismo ay kino-question ng kanyang kredibilidad.
Well, looking at the pronouncements of the Ombudsman, we're looking at 3 majority senators possible na ma-detain or put under arrest in the next few weeks. So do you believe in the statement of Senator Tulfo na all of this that's been happening is to ensure that VP Sara will have the votes in the impeachment?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, no? Na parang kahit sila ay makulong, ma-detain o mahuli, ay makakaboto pa rin sila. Yan ay isa para doon sa impeachment. Pero the other side of it would also be to maintain the status quo in the leadership. So talagang kitang-kita natin na self-serving talaga itong ginagawa nila ngayon na mga changes o amendments in the rules of the Senate. Pero I just like to point out, no, itong napapabalita ngayon na mga kaso na ipa-file sa members ng Senado, this goes to show the quality and integrity of the members of the majority or the lack thereof.
That's a big statement, Congressman.
Oo. Hindi, kasi Congressman, you're right with that regarding that there have been several surveys over the last decade. And initially, in the first half of this last decade, Congress suffered lower numbers than the Senate. Senate was always higher in ratings. Right now, bumagsak. To what do you owe this degradation of the Senate? Why do you think that it's very divisive now?
Well, it is this is the workings of an institution that has allowed yung personal interest to take over yung the mandate of performing important functions mandated by the Constitution. Pag inuuna talaga ang sariling interest, ang tendency na babalahura ang institusyon.
So you believe na masyadong pinoprotekta ang interest ng mga Duterte faction instead of the interest of the Filipino people in general?
Protecting the interests of just one family at the expense of the interests of the Filipino people. That's a great disservice to our public.
Well, let's talk about the flood control mess. Of course, we cannot forget that issue. And tulad na nabanggit mo kanina, magkakaroon nga daw, sinabi ni Ombudsman Boying Rimulya, ng mga cases against the people involved. And for the past months, almost mag-1 year na tayo since the pronouncement of President Bongbong Marcos sa kanyang SONA na mahiya naman kayo. This is the only time na nakarinig tayo na may big fish, no, na makakasuhan, including former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Your thoughts on that?
Well, lagi namin sinasabi sa akbayan, inip na ang taong bayan. Puro dilis yung nahuhuli, tsaka mga sapsap. Wala pa yung mga dambuhala na mga big fish na talaga namang dapat mahuli at makulong dito. So we are still looking closely and waiting for concrete actions para mapanagot yung mga sangkot dito sa flood control and budget scandal.
Itong mga lumulutang po na pangalan sa Senado and of course dyan po sa Congress, yan po ba enough na para po sa inyo o sa tingin nyo meron pa dapat na managot dito?
Sa ngayon, dapat kasuhan agad at ang kailangan bantayan ng taong bayan, hindi sapat na makasuhan, dapat ma-convict. Kasi ang nangyayari sa ating legal system, oo, makakasuhan, ma-appease yung public anger, pero sa dulo, dahil mayaman sila, marami silang resources at their disposal to hire the best lawyer, hindi sila makakonvict. So this is not just about filing cases. This is about ensuring conviction.
Right.
All right, Congressman, I'd like to move on to the actual, yung parating na impeachment. Now, how confident are you that the Senate will be as impartial as it can, given yung current, as of today, yung current structure niya and yung numbers by voting?
On the side of the House of Representatives, we are confident with our evidence, with our prosecution panel. Confident tayo that we have the support of the people when it comes to holding the Vice President accountable. Pero if you're going to ask me about my level of confidence in the Senate being impartial given the status quo, meron tayong talaga nararamdaman na uncertainty. May fears tayo. Kasi even before the start of the impeachment trial, we hear senator judges or future senator judges who are already telling us about fake news, black propaganda, telling us lies and misinformation about the case or the process that we went through in the House of Representatives. So this is really a cause for alarm.
Right. But among all of the articles of impeachment that were presented in the clarificatory hearing in the House of Representatives, which is the strongest articles of impeachment do you think na talagang doon makukonvict
high chance of conviction
si VP Sara?
Well, among the 4 articles, yung para sa akin na merong talaga tayong matindi na certainty of conviction, and not discounting the other 2, yung dalawa ay yung unexplained wealth at saka yung grave threats. Kasi talagang matibay yung ebidensya on both counts. Pero it doesn't mean na hindi matibay yung ebidensya sa dalawa. Nagkataon lang na yung sa iba pa, medyo mahirap ipaliwanag kasi mahaba at very technical yung process. But if we're talking about ano yung magiging mabilis na conviction, that would easily be unexplained wealth and grave threats.
Well, I want to talk about also the negative 15 net satisfaction of the president recently released yesterday. What are your thoughts on that? Ano po ba yung mga nakita natin na talagang kulang pa sa ginagawa ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos at this point na sabi nga nila at
Lame
this
duck.
point, 'di ba, usually talagang bumababa ng ganitong yung mga presidente sa ganitong panahon.
Well, maliban sa nandito na tayo sa second half ng kanyang term, na kadalasan very precarious for any sitting president because of the lame duck phenomenon, andyan pa yung katotohanan ng economic crisis. So ramdam talaga ng taong bayan yung hirap ng buhay at taas ng presyo. At hanggang ngayon, talagang very incremental, napakaliit lang din no nagagawa ng gobyerno para maibsan yung paghihirap ng ating mga kababayan. So talaga ang sikmura, pag kumalam, it will really affect the perception of the people regarding the administration. And I hope that this will serve as a wake-up call to the administration. Kinakailangan yung tugunan ang paghihirap, ang gutom ng taong bayan.
But what else is there for the House of Representatives? Kasi for the past few months, kayo yung busy regarding the articles of impeachment. Now that the ball is within the Senate na para dito sa usapin na ito, ano na po ba ngayon ang pinagkakaabalahan ng House of Representatives?
Well, tuloy yung trabaho natin para sa ating mga key legislation, particularly yung legislation natin para sa mga manggagawa. Hanggang ngayon, tinatrabaho natin sa Kongreso na sa lalong madaling panahon sana ay maipasa na yung National Minimum Wage Increase. Isa itong napakahalagang piece of legislation na mayroong magiging impact parang salbebida, lifesavers, isang panahon kung saan napakataas ng presyo ng bilihin. And we hope to get the buy-in of the administration on this. And we also hope that we get specific legislation pertaining to taxes. For example, yung ating proposal na magpasa ng isang wealth tax for the ultra-rich. Nang sa ganun, madagdagan yung resources ng gobyerno that they can allocate for social services, for education, and for disaster preparedness. Kasi sa panahon talaga na may crisis, kinakailangan ng dagdag na resources. At hindi dapat ordinaryong mamamayan ang magpasa ng burden na ito. It has to be the ultra-rich.
Alright, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Akbayan Representative Percy Sandanya. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Rego and Angela.